All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Please stand for the prayer and the pledge.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this time that we freedom to come here, gather together. Lord, we do that for you and you. Help them be bold in your stand and believe. Father, we do that for your holiness, bless us, you. We give glory to you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Appreciate everybody coming out tonight. Sir, are you one of the candidates?
For Tuesday.
Okay. All right, appreciate everybody coming out. This is the Stewart County Conservatives Forum for County Commissioners and School Board. The person for the school board was not able to make tonight, so he'll be your Tuesday. So before we have in front of you is what we have tonight. The way we'll work this is everybody's going to get 2 minutes for an opening, and then after that we'll start the questions. We have Jeff as our timekeeper. He'll ring the bell once when they get about 10 seconds out, and then they'll know to close up and start playing with that. So start with our each contestant or each candidate as they come up. We'll come up to the mic, do the part and or answer questions, and sit back down, and then the next person will rotate for you. So we're going to go ahead and start, and you are Bradley Jones, right?
Thank you for having us here and giving us the time to let everybody know a little bit about us. My name's Bradley Jones. I'm running for District 6 Commissioner. I've lived here all my life. I've seen some great leaders come through from when I was little and set a good example for myself and other kids around. My experience has been with the children mainly, with the ball programs down at the ballpark, and trying to show them what a good example of a man should be growing up and being there for them what they need. I'm running for District Commissioner because I want it to be a little bit different. I want to be a voice for my district. I don't want to have just my ideas come to the table, because that's not what I'm here for. I'm here for my District 6 to tell me what they want, what their ideas are, and get the majority of their opinions and put them together and bring them forward. I just appreciate the opportunity to run, and I appreciate everybody being here. And if anybody ever has any questions, my door is open. They can call me or just come to my house. And then hopefully if I become commissioner, we can have a town hall meeting for District 6 that can bring everybody together to have those opinions and hopefully grow and get everybody more involved. Thank you very much.
Next.
Good evening. My name is Elijah Thomas. I'm running for County Commissioner in District 1. I've been in Indian Mound my whole life. I was born and raised in Indian Mound. In April this last year, I married my wife, Mackenzie Wallace, who's also a native to Indian Mound. I'm a Stewart County High School class of 2014 graduate. At the current time, I'm employed by TRM Construction. We're a civil development firm located in Nashville. I'm also Sergeant of Reserve Operations for the Town of Dover Police Department Public Safety Office. Guys, really the reason why I'm running for County Commissioner is we're fixing to see a lot of change in the next couple of years. I'd say within the next 4 to 5 years, Indian Mound is going to get hit pretty hard. I see it every day where I work in Nashville. You wouldn't believe the development that is headed this way, and Indian Mound is going to get it first. And I want to be there to stand up for the people that have lived there their entire lives. My family farmed that land. I've hunted and fished every creek, river, holler, whatever you want to call it down there. And to see the impact and the growth that's going to happen and the control that we can have there, we need it. And we need a voice that has a vision And it's not just my vision, it's the vision of the people of Indian Mound. And I want to be there to help give my knowledge that I have on development and civil structures to put it in place. So that is why I'm a
My name is Brent Shelton. I'm running for Commissioner of District 3 over in Bumpus Mills area. I was born and raised in Bumpus Mills. My job took me all over the country and half all over the world. I was in technology, so I think if y'all would vote me in, I would have a whole lot of input on the technology that we need in the county. I've got a lovely wife sitting back there in the back, Carolyn. She's supported me, I don't know, 22, 3 years now. She ain't killed me, so, you know, I guess she's a pretty good woman. My vision for the district is to help grow the county, help the people understand what's going on with the commissioners. If they call me or see me on the street to talk to me, I'll be happy to set forth what the commissioners are looking for and what we're trying to do for them. I myself, this seat does not belong to me. It belongs to everyone in that district. It's just not what I think. If I've got 10 people that tell me they want something and 5 that don't, I hope everybody understands I have to go with the 10 people because that's the majority rule. And I am a firm believer in the rule of law. I don't try to skirt anything, and what you see is what you get, you know. Thank you much for your time tonight. We'll be happy to talk to you.
Good evening. My name is Melissa Fields. I'm one of the incumbent commissioners for District 5. A little background on me. I've been living in Stewart County since 2006 and Upper State and Rock Road. I'm married to my husband since 95. I have one son, Seth, graduated the high school in 2018. I'm originally from Northwest Indiana, about 45 miles south of Chicago. My husband is originally from Eastern Kentucky, and we met at school at Nashville Auto Diesel College. Together, my husband and I own 3 small businesses here in Stewart County. I'm the director of the Stewart County Prevention Coalition and serve on 2 other nonprofit boards. I teach fitness classes in my gym. I'm a member of the Kiwanis Club, Chamber of Commerce. I attend Bear Springs Baptist Church. I'm a CASA, that's a court-appointed special advocate for the children in juvenile court. I'm an affiliate auctioneer under the supervision of Tim Borens, which there's an auction here tomorrow morning. To my recollection, in the 4 years that I've been commissioner, I've only missed 2 of the full commission meetings. While once was out of town and once was because I had COVID, but while I was home with COVID, I was on FaceTime during that meeting. I'm also the commissioner that's on the most standing committees. I'm on 8 of those committees. To my recollection, I've only missed 2 of those committees, and I've only been late to 2 of those committee meetings. Also because of COVID. While out campaigning, a gentleman asked me with all of my jobs. My husband and I own Williams Cabinet Shop. We own the card shop, cards and collectibles shop, and I also own the gym. So those are the 3 businesses that I own, plus the nonprofits. And while I was out campaigning, a gentleman asked me how I was able to do commission work because I have all of those businesses. And I simply told him it's because I make the time to do it. And we always hear that that people make time to do the things that are important to them. Oh, I got 10 seconds. So we always hear that if they wanted to, they would. Well, I want to, and I am. I appreciate the work that everybody's been putting in the commission so far, and I hope to continue the work in District 5 as your commissioner for the next 4 years.
All right, now we'll start with the questions. First question will go to Mr. Jones. We'll work our way down. Can everybody hear me? I'll just ask the question from here. You guys can answer from the podium. First question, and the first 2 questions you guys probably somewhat covered in your opening, but you get them again, you get a little more detail to them. Why do you want to be a county commissioner? You have 2 minutes.
Why do I want to be a county commissioner? Well, this county's growing, as everybody knows. Everybody knows the same thing. We've talked about this 100 times. You hear it all over the place. Which direction do we want to go? It's going to depend on what our people want. We've got to listen to our people, what we want, and I want to be their voice. I want to lead them in the right direction, the direction they want to go. I want to set a good example, like I said in the beginning. I want to help our county. The biggest thing right now is just the direction we're going, because everything's going to go so fast. In the next 10 years, it's going to be a lot different. I've heard two different sides of stories of going and talking to different people. You know, there's a side that doesn't want this county to grow big, and there's another county over here. I believe we can kind of set that in the middle and kind of compromise on that. I believe that we can have a little growth to accommodate some people, and I believe we can still have our small businesses here in Stewart County like we've always had. I just want to be a leader for my district. I want to be the voice for them. I want to listen to them. I'm not running for me. And I know there's a lot of people up here that said the same thing, but I am passionate and I'm truly honest about that. When I have these town hall meetings, I'm gonna sit there and listen and get the majority of what everybody was thinking and get their opinions. I want everything covered. I want anybody that wants to be involved. I love my county, and I want us to stay on top of things. I want us to stay moving in the right direction. That's all I have. Thank you.
Same question to you, why do you want to be a county commissioner? 2 minutes.
Well, I had some interest in local government from a younger age. I was raised around current county commissioner Jimmy Mullins. You know, I would hear the phone calls that he would get and see the service that he give to our county and our community, and it really sparked an interest. Now, you know, he's older. He's not in very good health, and he's not able to get out as much. And I want to take what he and our forefathers had built, and I want to expand off of that. You know, I see the expansion coming our way. It's not hard to see. Just take 5 minutes down 79 and look on your left. And I want to use my knowledge to help control some of that growth while we progress in a forward motion. I want to offer solutions to problems instead of sitting at home and bickering about it. It's a lot easier to look at things from the outside in and cast stones than it is to sit down and come up with proper solutions that are reasonable and don't drain our county budget. I want to be a county commissioner not only for District 1, but for the entire county as a whole. You know, while my main focus will be making sure District 1's getting their fair share, I want to be looking out for the entire county and its entire progress. So that is why I want to be a county commissioner.
Why I want to be a county commissioner. I could sit up here and talk for hours on that. My late father was a commissioner for 20 some odd years. We was trying to figure out the other day, back in the 70s. And I would like to follow in his footsteps. My father set a good example for me and a good example for a lot of people here in the county. He taught me to be equal, to be fair with everyone. Not going to please 100% of the people 100% of the time. He says, you know, told me don't look for that. And my biggest thing is to help grow this county, help the people in my district to understand why we need certain things. There's a lot of old school folks that think, you know, hey, the county's still small, we want to keep it this way. To keep up with times, you've got to change. You know, between me and my youngest son's age, we go at it head to head on things. We don't see things eye to eye. But I understand where he's coming from because I was probably the same way with my dad. And so that's what we're looking at, is to try to come together, grow the county where everybody can be happy, everybody can still have the country life and still have the country feel. But if you look forward, it's just like Eli was saying a while ago. The county's going to grow. There's nothing that any of us in this room can do to stop that. I mean, if you do know how to stop it, let me know, because I'd be happy to help stop it in certain places. But, I mean, for me being a county commissioner, I want to represent the people and get more of what they want instead of what certain people want, just in a clique of themselves. I want it to be everyone. Thank you for the time. I could go on for hours.
I've enjoyed being a county commissioner for the past 4 years. I want Stewart County to thrive and prosper. I want positive growth. Like these gentlemen have said, we're going to grow, and it needs to go in a positive direction, and it needs to be controlled. Every situation, whether it's job, home, has room for improvement. And I see opportunity for improvement and prosperity in Stewart County. None of us sitting here is here for the money. I tell you that none of us are here for the money. We're here because we believe that we can offer ideas, suggestions, and solutions that will help our county to be what we envision. There's no requirement on the education level to become a commissioner. Sometimes common sense and self-education can help you make informed decisions. I want to continue the work that's being done at present and offer ideas, suggestions, and solutions, and work with 13 others, the county departments and the mayor, to see this county thrive and prosper. Just like one of them said, you know, I would be a voice for District 5, but I am a commissioner for the entire county. There's nobody that, you know, I would shun or tell them to go somewhere else and find their answer somewhere else. Even though I'm in District 5, I vote for District 5, but I work for the entire county.
All right, next question. Why do you think you will be a good commissioner? 2 minutes.
I'll be a good commissioner. I'm very passionate on things I want to do, and I do. I take full leadership and responsibility of all my actions and everything that I do. One thing to be a good leader is communication. You have to be able to communicate with people. Not everybody communicates the same way. If you don't know how to communicate with people, it can be a big struggle, and I know how to do that. I have been a job steward before. I've been a foreman. I've worked in different places where I've had to sit down and go through conflicts and communicate with everybody. But I am very passionate about Stewart County, and like everyone else, everybody wants it to grow in the right direction. But I think communication is a big thing that I can provide to be a leader for our district.
This question right here is probably the hardest one out of all 6 for me to answer. Just as everyone else, I put my pants on one leg at a time, just like every other human does. The one thing that kind of sets me apart from everybody else is my knowledge on civil development and infrastructure. Obviously, I do it every day. I work alongside some of the greatest civil engineers, and I go to continue education courses that are provided by the state, local governments. They provide information on the most efficient, cost-friendly infrastructure systems to date. I'm constantly looking at ways that we can generate money and generate jobs. We have one of the things here in Stewart County that nowhere else in the state does. There's only one barge unloading facility from Paducah, Kentucky to Nashville, Tennessee, and that's located in Clarksville at Wind Materials. We have access to that river every day. That was just one example, but I listen to the people in my community. I hear and see everything they're telling me. I guess there's really no easy way to answer this question other than being transparent and open and honesty, even when you probably don't want to be, but being respectful and willing to put in the work to get the reward. You know, just like Melissa said, if you really wanna do something, you're gonna work for it, you're gonna put the time and effort into it, no matter what the sacrifices are. And so, those characteristics kind of tell me, you know, if you'd be a good commissioner. I kind of feel like I fill those shoes and plus some. Thank you.
Hey guys, we did get the mic to work, but you gotta actually use it for it to work.
Oh, my bad.
I just let everybody know.
Oh, so, let me know.
Go ahead.
Why would be a good commissioner? I pondered this and pondered it. My late father told me I had to be a glutton for punishment because it's not an easy job. My wife thinks I'm an idiot because people are going to be calling the house at all hours of the night and in the morning, and she's probably right, you know. But, you know, I'll go on with that. But I think I'd be a good commissioner because I'm a people person. I love talking with people. I love to find out what's going on in their head. And while I'm doing that, I like to find out, you know, what they really want down deep. Because sometimes people don't come out and tell you everything that's on their mind, what they're going to do. You have to sort of pick it in little steps. And my training that I've had on other jobs, I've been pretty good at that, I think. I may be way off base, but that's just my opinion. And if you can get to where you can talk one-on-one, sort of cut up, carry on, have a good time, and get the business dealt with, that's what it takes. Also, I'm not going to be the type of commissioner, if I'm elected, that's going to stand out and want to put up a bull-faced argument the whole time. I mean, yes, it's times that we're not going to see eye to eye, we're going to butt heads on a few things, but arguments never did settle anything. You got to sit down and talk it out like ladies and gentlemen, and then work for a common good for the folks. And I think that I would be good at something like that. I may not be, but, you know, only time will tell if I get elected. And I would enjoy working with everyone that's on the commission, all the other branches of the government, try to get along and work with them. That'll wrap it up and get you on the next one.
Here, I'll turn it toward. All right, how do you like that? Why do you think you'll be a good commissioner? And of course, it's maybe a matter of opinion, but I think I already am a good commissioner. I take the role seriously. I research the topics before I vote. I try to get all the information that I can so I can make an informed decision. Do all votes go my way? No, they don't. I will say I never speak with confidence on something that I don't know. I'm not afraid to say I don't know, but I'll find out. Being a commissioner is not all about budgets, laws, and resolutions. What makes a good commissioner is a person that will listen, hear you out, and help you in an accurate way. My background in education and work history revolve around people. I want people to be heard no matter what district that they live in. And I've said before that people in all kinds of districts have called me and asked me to help them with something. And I didn't say, hey, here's who your commissioner is, call them. You know, I don't have time for that. I always help in whatever way that I can. But I'm going to be honest, I don't get a whole lot of calls from District 5. I don't know, maybe we're just having a good time out in District 5 and we like the way things are going. I think in 4 years I've probably gotten 4 calls from people in District 5. Lately I've been getting quite a bit, but that's just from one thing. But saying that I haven't got calls, you know, people have said several times that District 5 is forgotten. I know people say the same thing about Indian Mountain, or that District 5 is forgotten. And I don't feel that way, because I think that if people were really having trouble with the things in District 5, that if they don't call their commissioner to bring it up, we don't know what to fight for. So I would ask if I'm reelected that if you would call more often if you have problems. One thing that we got in District 5 is Gray's Crossing down there, and it's a really good place. I mean, it's nice for families to go to. Being a good commissioner, you should also have knowledge on working budgets. Well, I thought it was 10 seconds after that. Okay.
We'll have some time for questions at the end.
Okay.
All right, next question. Matter of fact, we're going to start on to the next question though.
Next question. Okay, I
You're
got
up.
this. Okay. You just didn't want me to take up everybody's time. I'm taking everybody's time. What's the next question? Are you willing to hold all public
Oh,
officials?
yeah.
Okay.
Are you willing to hold all public officials accountable for fraud, waste, and abuse or other violations of the law? You have 2 minutes.
I got 2 minutes. The answer is yes. If I witness fraud, waste, and abuse, I'd certainly hold the official accountable. I have in the past, as a matter of fact. There is a difference in holding a person accountable and turning them into the state, however. I'm not that kind of person. I think that if I see somebody that's being wasteful, or if I think something's fraudulent, then I'm gonna go to that person and have a conversation with them. I've always given the benefit of the doubt, and maybe that's not something that I should do. Maybe I should just turn them in. But I always give the benefit of the doubt, because maybe that person doesn't realize what they're doing is wasteful. We all have different opinions, or maybe not think something's wasteful, and if I think it is, I'm gonna go to that person and say something to them. I've also called to find out if something that I did witness was wasteful. There's a number that you can call, and you call straight to the state if you see what phrase fraud, waste, and abuse. Then you can call and turn a person in. And I've called that number before and said, hey, I saw this. Is this considered wasteful or fraudulent? And sometimes I've just been told no. That they don't consider that wasteful. So I'm not going to waste the state's time. I'm turning somebody in for something that's not wasteful. I call up there, see if it is. If it's not, I'm not going to waste the state's time turning that person in. But the short answer is yes. If I see it, I'm going to say something to them. Am I going to turn them in? Maybe not, but I'm going to have a conversation. And I think it's important to have a conversation. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter what official it is. I just feel like the benefit of the doubt is better in the beginning, and if the person doesn't change, then it's time to turn them in. Thanks.
Well, the short answer is yes. I would hold people accountable. You talk about fraud, that paints with a big brush, because that is deceiving somebody or an entity for your personal or financial gain. What you have to do on fraud is, I'm not an attorney, but I would seek the county's attorney and ask him, hey, is this the criteria for fraud? Waste and abuse in government, it's been there from the word go, when government started existing. What you have to do to control waste and abuse is, every year at your budget, you sit down, when that department comes to you and asks for XYZ amount of money, you say, well, last year we give you ABC, you took and had 6 garbage cans, you bought 8 more, but you didn't use the 5 of the other ones. Why'd you buy the 8 more? You have to question them, because what is waste to me may not be waste to the department. They may be thinking ahead of a ball game that we don't see that's coming down the pipeline. The other abuses and stuff that go on, goes on in government every day, but to actually bring charges, it's a lot deeper than you think. What you have to do is, if you see something, hey, pull that person aside, get the knowledge of where he's coming from, what he sees coming down the pipe that you haven't seen, or the other folks that come to you and report it haven't seen, then go back and explain it in a proper manner. Because waste in government, there's no way to get around it. What's waste to one person is not to another. And so just getting to the bottom of the problem would solve everything.
All right, well, I obviously don't have very much to say on this topic, other than yes, everyone, not just elected public officials, should be held accountable for their own actions. Whether it be intentional or not, there are repercussions for every negligent action that you do. Kind of like Melissa and Brent said here, holding somebody accountable doesn't mean you have to turn them in. We all have different views and different opinions on things, and my vision or belief, moral, whatever you want to call it, on fraud and waste and abuse may be different than somebody else's. So ultimately, in the end, yes, everybody should be held accountable, not just public elected officials, but yes, I would hold them accountable.
I think all three candidates said everything that I could say, but absolutely, if violations can be proven, I would hold them accountable for everything. I would do my due diligence in finding out if it had anything that had happened, then anything needs to be done. One thing everybody's talked about is like I told you earlier, communication. I mean, go talk to them. I mean, there's nothing wrong going face to face, trying to talk to somebody, figure something out. I mean, you're not gonna hurt somebody's feelings. If you do, then I mean, you work through it. But I absolutely, there's not one person that should be held above the law. One. All should be held accountable and accept their consequences when they violate any law. The waste, well, that is something that we all have to look at, just like he said about the budgets, seeing what they're looking at ahead of time, see if there's something that we're not seeing. But absolutely, I would definitely, if I see that the violations were proven that happened, we would have communication with that person and with the mayor and figure out what needs to be done and go from there.
Okay, just go ahead and stay up there and give you the next question. Okay. What do you think are the most pressing issues in the county that need to be dealt with? You've got 3 minutes, and I know you really can't cover them all good in 3 minutes, but we gotta do a time limit, so.
I know. There are a lot of things. One, in my opinion, and as I stated before, my opinion is going to go with majority of my district. So, but if you want to know what my opinion, what I would like, family resources. I know we talk about the growth of the county, of businesses and stuff, but there's a big need for family resources. There needs to be something that our families can go to. It doesn't have, I'm not talking like a movie theater or anything, but just a community center. I mean, something that families can take their children to and enjoy. And even helping the teachers of the school, not just with books and stuff, but get something secondary, like if we can bring in like a Sylvan or something to help with that, to help them with summer school and have a secondary option just to help the teachers of this county. Because I mean, teachers need a lot of help. They need help. The growth of this county is very pressing because everybody wants to see us grow in the right direction. Everybody wants that. And then issues identified by my citizens. I mean, when I communicate to all my people, I want their issues to be presented and I want them to be listened to. They don't want to come up to me and everything they tell me on a deaf ear. They want somebody to listen to them. But my biggest thing is family resources. I really believe all my life that I've lived here, we've had ball. That's great. That's good. But is there anything else that we can do for our families? Our families need more. And that's what I really want to see. When this county grows, I want to see more for our families.
I'm not sure if what we have in the county are technically pressing issues. I'm going to just speak from my perspective, and these are collective thoughts that I've got from people when I've been going door to door. We need a development committee to oversee the planning and execution of construction for our county. The SCIDB is a good start. Touch base on that a little bit. I'm not saying that we need to all have red brand woven wire fences with barbed wire 3 inches above them. Do I think everybody needs to have a 12 by 12 shed in their backyard? Can't have nothing bigger. No, that's not what I'm saying. But do I want a landfill or a a FedEx hub or something built beside my farm. No, I do not. It's also a good thing to have because after a year, most of the time with these developments, the county takes over the maintenance of the roadways. You have a developer that has substandard materials and has substandard help, and in a year you're going to be there with your county taxpayer dollars fixing that road. We need a place for our children to display their talents that aren't sports related, a place where they don't have to deal with a leaky roof and spend their allotted budget money on repairs. The Renaissance Theater, Camelot, whatever you want to call it. We need a place for those children to go and have their plays and you know, if it comes down to it, you have a big vision, dream big. Put an indoor pool back there. Put a track around that thing. You know, make it accommodate more than just one person. We need some sort of private-owned urgent care facility in this county. 24/7 facility, I don't care, maybe 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. But we have people going to Paris and Clarksville and even Houston County for services that we can offer here with just a little bit of negotiation. Animal control is no longer a suggestion. This is a service that's greatly needed for our area. Not to just stop strays and stop, you know, irresponsible breeding, but we need an animal control officer to help hold irresponsible animal owners accountable for their actions. And I think that can be a joint venture done between the county and the city. We need infrastructure. We have to secure and maintain our assets. Just plainly spoken, the county budget for Mr. Sumner or Ronnie, however, you know, the county road superintendent, it's not big enough. It's nowhere near big enough for him to keep doing what he's doing. Training and retaining our first responders and dispatchers is a big one, and benefits for school bus drivers and teaching assistants. Last but not least, we need a park in every district. That can be done, and it's going to be done in Indian Mountain one way or another. Thank you.
All right, pressing issues. Could go on for days. A lot of the biggest pressing issues we have is how do we hold our students that's in high school now and the ones graduating college here to benefit us back for what we put into them. We can't just say, hey, here you go to college. Oh, there's a job in Nashville, job in Chattanooga. We need to start looking at resources at how we can have small businesses to medium-sized businesses come in to provide jobs to keep our people here in the county. When you start keeping your people that are raised here in the county, you start having a lot less crime. You have a lot less turmoil in school. You have more people looking to want to come in because, hey, this is a great place. Other places that we need to look at is technology. I don't care what anybody says. I was in the technology business. This county is 15 to 20 years behind on a lot of the technology. If you get technology in, you can save money in the long run. If you're looking to do it in a short-term fashion, if you're looking to, say, put $100,000 in technology and you break even by the end of the next budget year, impossible. That's pretty much impossible on anything if you're trying to grow it. You've got to have that dream for the long term, 10 to 15 to 20 years out. Some of us probably won't be here then, but at least we know that we can take and put that into the county for our kids, our grandkids, and great-grandkids to come along. I myself am a firm believer if you keep the people that are in your county, you've got good people, then it's going to stay pretty calm. Crime's going to drop. Are we going to stop every bit of crime? Are we going to stop the people running drugs up and down the road? Not 100%. What we need to do that is get more trained people and give the sheriff's office more leeway to where he can hire more people, put more people out there patrolling, protecting us. If you go over there and count the deputies and something in 4 different spots in the county happens at the same time, massive, we do not have the police force to take care of everything. So we're gonna have to figure out a way to where we can get all this in our budget to hire the people to cover everybody and everybody feels safe. I believe if we brought in some of the medium-sized businesses to come in here, give everybody jobs, especially the high school kids, we can keep more of our own people here and keep it safe for us.
What are the most pressing issues? First, I think that we need to increase our revenue, our tax revenue. There's many wants, desires, and needs for our county from every department and everybody in the county, but we don't have the revenue to cover those needs or those wants. As a commissioner sitting in the budget finance meetings and sitting in the full commission meetings where all of our departments have asked for more money and we just don't have it to give to them. In order to increase those things, we have to bring in businesses. Whether we bring in business, industry, homes, or tourism dollars, or all four of them, we've got to increase our tax revenue. We've got to have the money to be able to fund some of the things that people want. Everybody wants their roads taken care of. Everybody wants Rodney Sumner to have more money, but it's hard to get that money to them. We don't have the revenue to give it to them. Animal control, I believe that we need an animal control officer. The sheriff wants an animal control officer. We don't have the funding to give it to him. So there's just things that we could be doing that we have wants and needs for, and we just don't have the revenue for it. Secondly, infrastructure. Water and sewer on both sides of the river would be fantastic, and that's also a way to get in those revenue builders that we're looking for. Those businesses will come in if you have water and sewer. We just need a solid infrastructure. Third, and this is not my district, but we need to figure out a good solution for the water in Indian Mountain, the issues with water in Indian Mountain. I don't know what the solution is. I know that we can't force North Stewart Utility District to do anything, just like you can't come in my business and tell me what to do. But we certainly need to keep our eye out for available funding that'll help them out in whatever ventures they do deem that are appropriate for that. And last, it might not be as popular to many, but it's my life's work and always on top of my list. We've got to have a place for drug offenders to get treatment and recovery services. We need a transitional living house for those that are coming out of jail, and you know, we don't want them to go straight back to where they came from, because where they came from is what got them in trouble in the first place. So we need a transitional living facility, and there are grants that are available out there for us to do that. We also would like to have a day center for the guys and girls that are getting out of the jail. Sometimes they get out of jail and have to wait 3 or 4 or 5 hours to get a ride. I know there have been people that got out of jail and they lived in Chattanooga, and they were waiting for the ride to come and get them from Chattanooga. And they sat in front of Westside Market for 6 hours waiting on a ride. If we had a day center for something like that they could go sit down and just, have a seat inside without the weather on them and without the beating sun on them, with maybe some snacks and a drink. I mean, that would be something that I'd like to see happen. And I know the sheriff wants to see that happen too. Not all the people in our jail are from Stewart County, so they need something like that to sit down and wait for those things.
Okay, question number 5, we're going to start with Mr. Thomas. What state or county resources do you intend to use in order to ensure you understand what is expected of your job as a county commissioner? If you're an incumbent, what have you been using?
Okay, so every newly elected or appointed county commissioner has 120 days to go through, I believe it's like a commission orientation, which is provided by CTAS, which is the County Technical Assistance Services. So ultimately, I would rely on their services. If I needed further understanding on something, I may lean to my fellow peers or previous county commissioners for guidance. We also have a phenomenal county attorney who's pretty knowledgeable. So I kind of feel like if I have any questions, there'd be plenty of people out there that would have some sort of answers or some sort of guidance to give a lending hand.
This is a 1-minute question. I forgot to tell you.
Well, rely on a whole lot, be common sense. That dictates a lot of things. Your people in your district want something and you don't down deep, hey, common sense, go with the people in your district, because 90% of the time they'll be more right than you will be. Another thing that you could go on would be talk with the county attorney, the county judge, to find out if what you're doing is lawful. Because we are a county of laws. We're not a bunch of yahoos just running around looking for a way out. Everything is governed by laws. If we try to do something, it's easier to nip it in the bud right up front than it is to fight it in court and take the long run.
I am the incumbent, but the way that I was voted into office, I wasn't able to attend the training from CTAS. So, but I do use CTAS. You can go to their website and there's actually questions on there that they've answered. If it's a question that you have that's similar, you can find that question on there. TCA codes, other commissioners, the mayor, like was already said, the county attorney, and there's been very many times that I've contacted the DA or Judge Brigham. That's who I lean on.
Upon election, I'll attend all county orientation programs as required by statute. If there's any others out there that I can learn from, I'll be more than willing to do. CTAS has been said already. Tennessee Code annotated, the county attorney and attorney general opinions. Outside of the law, just like I said, that's one of my main things is the citizens of District 6, of what they expect out of me. That's all I've got right there. Thank you.
All right, last question, Mr. Shelton, you're up first. 1 minute question. Are you allowed to discuss issues with the county mayor or other members before a meeting?
No, is the short answer. Is there going to be times that you're going to run in and people are going to try to start conversations with you on that? Yes. Avoid them. I highly recommend everyone that gets elected or is elected now to avoid that type of situation. Not only just because it's the right thing to do, it's the manly thing to do, because you can't just go out here and be talking about everybody's business behind their back and not wanting to face them to answer the question. So that's my answer to it.
Are you allowed to discuss the issues with the county mayor or other members? Yes, and I often do. I stop and talk to the mayor about all the issues, or not all the issues, but if I don't understand something, I contact the mayor or other county commissioners to get information. We don't talk about the way that we're gonna vote. We don't try to sway the person's vote. What we do is just talk about what the issues are. Sometimes we go in there and I recommend something to the mayor, or, recommend something to other commissioners that is not necessarily on the agenda, but it's something that's on my mind. Also, if I need explanation, the time to have that explanation is before I go in to vote on it. I need to know what's going on before I vote on it. And during a county a county commission meeting, that's not the time to ask for explanation on everything. So that's it. That's it.
Now, from what I've grown up always known about, is the Open Meeting Act, or the Sunshine Law, which states a few different things. All meetings of any governing body are declared to be public meetings and must be open to public at all times. I said a while ago, I think you could probably talk about your issues with the mayor. You could probably discuss what your own issues are. But number two, adequate public notice of all regular and special meetings must be given. The minutes of the meeting must be recorded and open to public inspection. And that minimum must contain a record of the person's presence, all motions, proposals, and resolutions offered. But like I said in the beginning, I've grown up of the Open Meetings Act, and that's a law, and that's what I go by.
I kind of feel that's a little bit of a loaded question. Just because it's an issue doesn't mean that it's on the agenda. So, I mean, like Melissa said, if you need clarification on something, then I feel like you should be able to ask that. You shouldn't wait until you sit down at the table and ask that question. But in all honesty, I can't answer your question professionally or honestly because it's very loaded. I would suggest possibly getting a little bit more clarification on that one because, like I said, just because it's an issue, it may be an issue to me, but it may not be on the agenda to be spoke on. So there is my answer.
All right, so that concludes our questions. Now we're gonna open it up. If somebody has a question for any of the candidates up here. We'll start with Mr. Jones. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Jones?
This is for everybody. I was born in this county a long time ago, and we grew up and we loved the county. Over the years, I've lived all over the nation, all over the world. In fact, my dad got killed right there. The worst traffic accident in this county's history. Got a lot of roots here. Now, people like me, I was born here, moved away, come back, because we wanted to. A lot of people never moved away, stayed here, because they wanted to. And I would suspect that there's quite a few of you that have moved here from other places because this was what we had. I don't like what we're all seeing. You know, all of this, like Clarksville, I was a mail carrier. I knew every building up there. I would not drive in that place for nothing. And you all know what I'm talking about. Same thing in Nashville. I was also in the post office there. So I'd like to see the county improve. I'd like to see it be better. But I don't necessarily want to see it bigger. And I'm just asking if anyone might want to respond to that.
I've lived here all my life, on the outside state here, and people I've talked to that's even moved here have moved here for the same reasons as you say. I mean, they love our county the way it is. The way this world's moving, there's more and more people wanting to move to this county and wanting their opinions done and want different things. I believe that we need a little bit more businesses. But I don't want to see our county change from what it is either. And I think with the right plan, getting with our commissioners and the mayor, having the right plan to keep it that way, and not having random businesses and random things moving in here, and then close down, and then you've got all these empty buildings everywhere. I don't want to see that. That's going to be ugly for this county. But unfortunately, we're getting more and more people that's outside this county moving here. And if they move here, you talk to them and ask them why they moved here, and said that's why, if you want to keep it that way. But ultimately, it's going to come up to our citizens and talk to them what they want to do from here on out. But like I said, I love our county, and I stay here for the same reason.
I'll try
question to the best of my ability. I was born and raised here. I mean, I've literally watched this building get built. I watched Mamma Mia's turn into what it is, you know. Being back in Indian Mountain, nobody wants to see growth back there. You got the same individuals owning the same property for generations at a time. And I can guarantee you, they don't want to see housing developments be brought in on top of them. You know, I was talking to a family the other day about the idea that I had with bringing a barge facility here so we can load and unload commodities. And the response I got was, I drive to Clarksville every day for work, so can that. And I get that, but at the same time, at the end of the day, we either have to choose, do we want more people to live here, or do we want more industry growth? The services that the county provides, the money has to come from somewhere. And if it doesn't come from an industry, or from a job, from a business, it's coming from you. And these sheriff's deputies and these EMS workers and these dispatchers, they have to get paid. And if we don't keep paying them to retain them, they're gonna go to Montgomery County, where they're gonna get paid. And the reason Montgomery County can pay them the way they do is from the industrial growth that they've had over the years. I'm with you. I don't wanna see my farm go nowhere. I don't wanna see my neighbors coming in on top of me. But at the same time, I don't want taxes to go up either. So we have to choose, what do we want? And that's kind of where we fall back on a development board to kind of dictate and navigate where the growth goes and how it gets there. So that's how I will answer that question.
Well, I was born and raised in Bumbles Mills, a little old hillbilly boy. Like you, sir, my job took me all over, and I've traveled all over Canada, Mexico, the United States. I like the small area, love it, but there's one thing that we've all got to face is we live next to a county that's one of the fastest growing counties in the United States. And it's just like any other metropolitan area, it's going to spread. There's not a whole lot that we can do to stop it. I mean, if we start getting in here and putting in people where we can have builders to have to build to certain specs, houses to be built to certain specs, and then we have a tax bracket to match that, then yeah, we can slow it down some, but we're not gonna, we can't stop it completely. The people moving in, from here, I live in an area in Bubba's Mills where they're moving in from California, Wisconsin, Alabama, Kentucky. They're coming from all over just to be in this area because we have a lot to offer. But the thing of it is the more people that move in, sure, we're getting the taxes off of the residential taxes, but the taxes that you're getting is taxes when you buy something, your sales tax, your taxes off of the businesses will pay more than what your residential will pay. So we've got to get the businesses in here and keep them, but we've got to sort of keep it in a small mindset. A good example is, I don't know if y'all are familiar with it, a little town called Shelton, Georgia. In the middle of the mountains. It was, 3 times smaller than this county. What they've done is they turned it into a Dutch type village. Got the tourism coming in. They got all the still small area feel, but they got one little spot that, there's hotels, motels, restaurants, Home Depots, Lowe's, but it's all in a business district. But you still got the small town feel. You drive out 5 miles and you're in the middle of the country. So we've got to look at something sort of to that nature to stay on the small town scale in the broad spectrum of the county, but a central point where we can collect the revenue to move forward.
I'm the total opposite of everybody else. I moved here because I wanted to live here. this is where I wanted to be. They were born and raised here. We lived in Clarksville for several years, and the way that it grew, we didn't want to be there. We wanted to be in a small area. And what I tell a lot of people about the growth is, as long as, like these gentlemen are saying, if we can control the growth and it's positive, then it'll be easier. And one of the other things that I tell people is because of so much federal land that we have, we're only gonna grow so large. We just have to have, like all three of them said, a good plan of what we want. And like Brad said, it's talking to your people and seeing what they want. You know, there may be a district that wants all that growth in their community. I was out campaigning today, and the first gentleman I talked to said, "Man, we need more businesses here. We need a good this and we need a good that." And 4 houses down the road, the lady said, "I don't want any growth in this community. I want it to stay exactly like it is." But again, whether the growth is residential or businesses, you know, we can choose. I think that we can choose that, and the way that we want it to grow. And I think, you know, something like Brent was talking about is a fantastic idea. A central place that's, you know, bringing in tourism dollars. Do we want a big giant hotel? Well, I mean, you know, these fishermen go somewhere. They stay somewhere, and there's only so many places in Stewart County they can stay. So I really like the idea of bringing tourism here. You know, Fort Donaldson's is great. The waters are great. The rivers are great. You know, so I like that idea of having somewhere for people to come and go. And if they want, you know, if they stay, they want to find a place to live, then that's fine too. But it's just having a control over the growth. But like I said, that one was totally like, "Hey, we need to grow. I don't want no growth, and I don't want you to tell me what to do with my place." So I was like, well, you know, it's a meet in the middle, I guess is what it is. But I did choose to live here because of the way that it is, and we love it here. And I'm not going anywhere, I hope.
Okay, any questions for, sorry,
Eli.
Eli, I apologize. Anybody?
This will be to all of you, anybody that wants to answer. My concern, and this is through experience when we do petitions and stuff in the county, you've got a great deal of people out here. This community is so disconnected. There are so many people out here, they're not gonna tell you what they want, to come to you personally and tell you what they want, because they're afraid to speak up. And that concerns me in making these decisions in the county, because the only one you're gonna hear from is the ones who, "I don't want this," or "I don't want that." You're not gonna hear from people who do want change. A lot of them won't speak up. And I just wonder how you can deal with that. Because, like I said, the community's so disconnected. Those people are like us. Most of them will stick to themselves. We go out of our way to go outside the county for everything we need, because we feel like we're second-class citizens here, even though we lived here our whole lives.
Well, just like I said, if I'm elected, I want to have my own town hall meetings in my district to discuss, and I will reach out through email or phone call to people that don't come to let them know they're invited, that they have someone here to listen to. And I will listen to them and bring, like I said, it's all going to come down to the majority of what everybody wants. And I want to get all the District 6 together that I can to get that majority and see what they want. And if they're, and know that I'm there for them, that I'm not sitting on a board above them, because I'm not. I'll be right below them so I can hear what they want and get their ideas out. So that's been my plan. That's what I've ran on this whole time, is that I want the voice for my citizens, and I will do everything I can do to make sure I can hear all of them.
Anybody have any questions for any of the candidates? Okay. We'll have another forum here.
I have a question.
For the candidates?
For all 4, yes.
Yes.
If you lady and gentlemen are elected onto the commission, you're going to be one of 14 of the most powerful people in the county. in my opinion, you're 14 of the most powerful people in the county. One of the first things that you're gonna have to do in October, when you attend your first session, you're going to have to vote for a chair of the commission. Now, what does the commission do? I just said you're the 14 most powerful people in the county. You set the business of the county. You set the agenda of the county. So, your first function will be to elect a chair. Traditionally, the commission elects the county mayor as the chair of the commission, and my belief of that is because the county mayor works every day in the Office of Accounts and Budgets with the executive staff and knows the undertakings of what's going on in the county. So it's important to a county mayor to understand that the commission and that the people of the county understand the distinction between the county mayor and the chair of the commission. So my question is simple to you, and you don't have to go into a big, long explanation, but I just want to make sure that you and everyone in the county understands the distinction between the county mayor and the chair of the commission. And they have a lot of times you have to wear different hats. And so, do you each understand that distinction? Have you thought about that? Because your first vote is to elect the chair of your commission, and you're the 14 strongest people in the county. So who will you elect as chair? That's something you need to think about, and I just want to bring that up. Have you thought about that?
Personally, no, I haven't, Robin. I haven't.
That's why I wanted to ask this question, because a lot of people in the county don't think about it.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna be honest, I honestly have not thought about that, not at all. Just because none of us here really know what the future holds. So, you have to, I'm gonna say, to touch base on that, you would have to win, as by you, I mean, each of us would have to win and be at that session to vote. So I feel like I would make my decision up when I'm there to vote. If that makes any sense at all.
Yeah, it's not who your decision would be, it's just the fact that you have to make that decision.
Correct, yes.
All right. First thing I'd like to address is the lady back there in the back. Please do not feel like a second-class citizen.
I do.
I mean, please don't. The good Lord created all of us equal. You know, you take the clothes off, we all men and women, we're all going to die, we're gonna all wind up in dirt. So please don't feel like a second-class citizen. Because if you do, let me know. I'll do anything I can to help you.
Thank you.
And I mean, even if I don't get elected, or even if I wasn't up here, I don't want anybody in this world feeling second class.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Brent, to answer your question. I have given some consideration, being my dad was on the commission before. We didn't get into a lot of detail before he passed. I myself don't know exactly how I would vote till I'm there and in the position. I know what my gut says to do, but until you're in the very final moment, it's like a boxing match. You don't know exactly which punch you're gonna throw till it's over.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I haven't really given it a whole lot of thought, to be honest. Just being straight up with you.
Well, of course, this is my first 4 years and yours too, and you've done, I think, a good job as chair of the commission. I think it's gonna depend on who the mayor is. I think that, you have to have confidence in whoever your chair of the commission that would be able to do the job. You've gotta have somebody that's gonna get out and work and put the agenda together and do everything that needs to be done. And those duties are separate. We've talked about this before. Those duties are separate, but it's gotta be somebody that has the time, the ambition, and the want to do the job of the chair of the commission. But since I've been in this county, it's always been the mayor that's been the chair of the commission. And as a matter of fact, since I've been in the county, I think that the same co-chair has been the same person on the commission since I've been here. Have I thought about it? No, I haven't. But it does need to be somebody that has the ability to do the job, whether it's the mayor or somebody else on the commission.
Any other questions? Okay.
David, I have one more question, and it's completely different if I
As
may.
long as it's to the candidates.
Yes, yes. So forever in Stewart County, you know, it's been a commission not made up of females. And so I think, are you the second or third?
Third.
You're the third female that's ever been on the commission in the history of Stewart County. So what kind of perspective do you bring to the full commission as a female? Do you think it makes a difference coming to the commission as bringing a broader perspective?
I don't necessarily know that it's a, I can't really say. I don't feel like anybody has, not respected me as a commissioner. At first, I really thought that was gonna be a problem. But another thing is that most of the commissioners right now are my friends. And I think that makes it a big thing. But I've never felt, disrespected or that anybody didn't like me. But I think that, bringing I think, everybody talks about the female perspective, and maybe I don't think that way, I don't know, but, I think it brings, fresh ideas. I think that I think when I'm at the table, I may have fresh ideas, and it may be because I didn't grow up here, and I haven't lived all over the place like you have, but I think that, I think the ideas and the, I think it's just fresh, maybe that's the answer, but I have never felt disrespected, unless, not that I have never felt disrespected, but I think that females do need to be on the commission. And it's not just because I'm a female, I think that it's important to have females on the commission. I think that females should be on any board of any business, as a matter of fact, just for the freshness of that being a situation. So.
Okay, we will have another commissioners and school board forum this Tuesday, right here at 6:30. I appreciate everybody coming out, appreciate the candidates participating, and